Welcome everybody to tonight's Overwatch match. It's VSGaming's Premier Division for 2019. I'm your host Cloudburst. I'm at ATK Arena, and tonight we have DDC Dominion versus ATK.unIdentified. Unidentified currently undefeated in Premier Division, but DDC looking pretty good with their revitalized roster. Gonna have to see how these teams show up one another. Looking over at the revitalized roster at DDC. Deathseed, the player we know and love, repping East London in the Overwatch scene. Heading over to the main tank, his Reinhardt play is actually pretty damn good if I don't say so myself. A lot of the community has been sleeping on him, but I can tell you right now, not a sleeper player whatsoever anymore. Officer Doofy, Drunken Smurf, and Mpundu, long-term players for DDC of, I would say, about 2 years. Filling in each role respectively. I am Condi, new to the scene, heading over to the hit scan role for the team, doing extremely well. Quite a few players getting a bit fearful of what he brings to the team. And Zlade, also a new addition in 2019, self-proclaimed Reddit Lucio for the team. We'll have to see how he's able to pan it out against Unidentified. Especially when looking over at the side of Unidentified, Shapeshifter and Dizzy over in the main tank and off tank roles. Of course, Dizzy, as of what we saw from the weekend, swapping off, or previously on Thursday, swapping off of the support role over onto the off tank role. Quite an interesting change where he's going with that. Squishy and Sponge, the DPS duo that everyone screams about, and Michaelele and Chad filling up the support role. Of course, Michaelele, pretty much their third DPS, and Chad landing every sleep that you need to see. Of course, game sounds already leaking into my cast, trying to steal it from me. Heading over to Nepal first. And we have Sanctum. I've stated it before, Sanctum, interesting one to start off with. Does have this long chasm downwards that will assist teams with their environmental kills. Depends if they opt to use that or not. We do often see Orisa Roadhog compositions just for this very reason. Now, team comps that are going to be coming out of the door, not too sure about this just yet. Sponge on the Ashe, with Chad and Michaelele on the Mercy and Lucio. I can imagine Chad probably wanting damage boosts to be applied over to Sponge. Ashe has a very high damage ceiling when Mercy is damage boosting, and then a triple tank composition with Diva, Orisa, and Roadhog. I quite like the composition coming in, and it's not too far off from what we see on the side of DDC. I am Condi over on the Genji already, opting to go through the high ground, trying to get a help there, not quite landing it, coming in from the side of Deathseed. And right now, both teams duking it out a bit. Defense Matrix doing a lot for them. Although, using up the res that early is not very good for Unidentified. Very aggressive Halt. Manages to allow for the yoink onto Deathseed. Goes down with a headshot. Zlade. Reddit loose showing a little bit there. Trying to find something onto Michaelele. Not able to get it. As I Am Condi dives in deep, but they lose Zlade due to that. I Am Condi ends up falling down. Unidentified. Looking quite comfortable already. Not any environmental kills just yet, but a lovely combo coming out from Unidentified with the Halt Hook combo to take out Deathseed. Right now, DDC Dominion need to find a way to get onto the point comfortably, especially as they are staring down a potential double ultimate usage. Valkyrie is ready, but Drunken Smurf finds it over onto Michaelele. He's probably going to hope for some more value. Bob comes out from the side of Sponge over onto the point. Bob wants to get some kills, does get slept, but gets woken up shortly after. That's a bit of a miscommunication, and it's shredding through DDC Dominion as Officer Doofy also gets taken out. Survives the environmental kill, but it's just delayed due to that. Probably would have wanted to jump off. Sleep applied, but woken up instantaneously afterwards. I Am Condi has Dragon Blade ready, and Mpundu is also good to go with the nano boost. Could see a boosted blade here, but very comfortable setting up from Unidentified. Sponge in the back getting damage boost from Chad. The entire time Supercharger comes out. This is so much effective damage for Sponge to work with. Dynamite over the shield above. Doesn't quite land on anyone. Bit of a lost opportunity there as DDC. Very patient, waiting it out. Here comes the Dragon Blade. It's going to come in. Looking for something. Finds Maikelele. He needs to find some more, though. And right now, the whole hog is just making life so difficult for him and allowing for Sponge to end his escapades in the air there. Over the shield. Goes again. Death Seed. Immolated. And Bob comes out once again. Does not land on anyone, as we do see another Bob come out. And it's slightly behind a wall here. That's not very good for DDC, although Death Seed dealing very well with Sponge's Bob. I am Condi swapping over to the Reaper for the next fight, as it looks like Unidentified are going to be keeping this one together, unless I am Condi can do something. Not quite. Hook is a bit too strong. Roadhog, known as a character that can counter Reaper. Self-destruct from Officer Doofy, shielded off by Shapeshifter. Very bad timing, as we do see Chad popping the Valkyrie. Damage boost coming down, allowing for the rest of Unidentified to play very aggressively. Here we have a Supercharger coming in from the side of DDC as well. Chad getting a res in the back there, as right now kill feed still in favor of Unidentified. Death Seed shield gets taken out instantaneously. Maikelele looking for something environmental. Right now point has ticked over to DDC Dominion, as we do see I am Condi using the Death Blossom, finding two and causing for Unidentified to back off. They didn't use their ultimate sparingly, and they got caught out by DDC Dominion, who were ready to drop the hammer on them at any disadvantage that befalled on Unidentified. I'm Condi, of course, backing out now. Sponge ready for another Bob. If they're able to use this properly, could be extremely strong, especially Shapeshifter coming up on the Supercharger. Playing very patiently. You have to with the Orisa, staying behind the shield, making sure that you don't just rush forward. Although Sponge good to go on his own, hopefully trying to find something for Bob. Defense Matrix gets his Dynamite. Out comes Sound Barrier from Slade. Bob slows Slade into the air. Gets taken out almost instantly from Sponge. Officer Doofy nano boosted from Impundu. He wants to charge going in onto the Supercharger. I am Condi kind of on his own, but Squishy goes down to the self-destruct, and it's just Dizzy, Shapeshifter, and Chad right now on the point, as it is overtime ticking up for DDC Dominion. Drunken Smurf wants to stay on the point just a little bit longer, delaying the inevitable that might befall upon them. Slade redditing a little bit, but getting caught out, actually escaping from the situation, as we are going to be moving to last fight territory. DDC Dominion need to find a way to bring it back together, and looks like that might just happen from Death Seed switching over to the Wrecking Ball. Interesting choice. We'll have to see how he utilizes it. Here he goes. Goes with the pile driver. Tries to find some more value out of it, but Shapeshifter just fortifying himself to make sure he can't be affected by the CC. Although we do have Maikelele and Dizzy both falling. Sponge takes Officer Doofy, but Shapeshifter left on his own, and I am Condi falls just behind him. We do see Death Seed being taken up by Sponge and Squishy. Dizzy still doing a lot of work at the point, and it's only Slade as overtime is ticking for Unidentified. Looks like this might just be Sanctum going to them, as Bob falls off the map for Drunken Smurf, and this is... He was so unhappy there. You could see the way he was moving around. Unidentified take out Sanctum of Nepal. Moving over to Shrine as our next portion of Nepal. Control map's quite interesting, seeing these compositions change up depending on the portion of the map you're on. Still Nepal, but we'll see different compositions coming out of it. I quite like seeing so much Ashe play from Sponge. Not too sure if this is something practice or if it's a bit of a flavor of the month thing for him, as we haven't seen too much of it in previous matches. I am Condi over on the McCree. They're going McCree, May, Ryan Zarya, Lucio, and Honor. This gives them a lot of versatility. Chad almost going down to the icicle headshots, but Squishy in the front line takes out Drunken Smurf to make sure nothing more of that can happen. I am Condi just goes straight for the main tank in Shapeshifter. Death Seed slept. No one able to follow up on him completely. Just dancing around the point as it's about to unlock in the next 3 seconds. Squishy and Sponge lining up the kill feed to make sure that they can get through. And Pundu's positioning very good here, but Death Seed booped away from Maikelele. Squishy can start diving him now as Wraith form works extremely well to avoid the hammer swings. Drunken Smurf left on his own a little bit, pops the ice block, tries to find a way to deal with this. I'm Condi comes with the stun, but Squishy managed to get out alongside Dizzy assisting him throughout. Back onto the points and Unidentified very comfortable here on Shrine. Sponge still finding some very good positions to play from. Sneaky, sneaky. Can he find the headshots though? He's getting the shots, but he's not getting the picks. Death Seed, very aggressive. Shield is not looking too good. Barrier actually destroyed as we hear Reinhardt scream it. Goes in for the charge. Lands on Shapeshifter, takes him out. This is their chance to start moving forward. Slade getting a lot of value as well, but Death Blossom from Squishy just shredding through the back line with a 4K and a little bit of BM afterwards. You really love to see it, don't you? Is Dizzy sitting on a lot of charge here. However, only ultimates, or actually, there's some pretty good ultimates in the bank. That's 4 of them coming up for Unidentified. Although we can say that there are 3 in the side of DDC. Death Seed, Shatter, if he utilizes it correctly. Drunken Smurf can follow up with the Blizzard, can do a lot of work. Sponge goes down to start off the fight. They need to find a way to isolate Bob, but they're actually going to duel him instead. That gives a lot of time for Sponge to get back into the fight here. That's Bob completely stalled their approach, and Sponge is going to be back before they know it. Death Seed wants to find a way to land the Shatter, but oh, with the projected barrier from opposite Doofy, making sure Death Seed doesn't go down to the Earth Shatter, coming in from the side of Shapeshifter, and there's the Graviton Surge picking up 4 players, but Ice Block makes sure that they are out of harm's way, and a little bit of a bounce on the Dynamite so that Sponge can't quite trigger it. Dizzy still signaling a lot of charge, his own personal barrier used up, not able to survive the May and the Reinhardt, but Michaelele wants to keep things alive a little bit longer. Dynamite right on Drunken Smurf. Blizzard does come out over on the point though, but Shapeshifter comfortable in the corner. I Am Condi wants to deal with him, but looks like there was a missed bardic grenade in from Impundu that could have maybe changed the way the fight went. Overtime for Unidentified as they do a lot of work here. Death Seed, Earth Shatter blocked from Shapeshifter, who then dives in. Death Seed going to try and find something, but gets knocked into the air at the worst time. And once again, Squishy comes with the Death Blossom to end the fight just out of our camera's way. Well-deserved play of the game, as the positioning from Squishy works so well once again. I Am Condi. Flashbang definitely on cooldown there. Must say DDC Dominion, after facing off against Unidentified, playing such a high impact role over on Nepal, they definitely have to rethink a little bit of this, come back to the fundamentals that they know work for them. We'll have to see what the next escort map is. Did see some very good things coming in from the side of DDC, especially the way that Death Seed was playing with his shield. It definitely worked well for him. Of course, going down a little bit too often to the amount of damage that Unidentified is able to push out on them. However, not down and out just yet. That was only the first map. Second map, Escort. We'll have to see where the teams want to go. DDC Dominion getting the first choice, and it's going to be Route 66. A map loved by many, and we have seen some interesting things coming in from Unidentified as teams do opt to swap sides. Unidentified wanting to defend first. You can see they want to set the bar of how far they need to push the point when they flip over to the attack, but I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to hold DDC Dominion back that much. Only time will tell. As we are entering into the game.
Traveling to Route 66. Initiating match.
Big All's Diner, 24-hour service, no refunds. Over here, Panorama Diner, where the attackers will be leaving spawn as they head towards the payload that they need to push, as this is the escort map selection from DDC Dominion, as we head through Deadlock Gorge to the left side of Big Earl's Diner, pushing it to the first point over here, which will unlock 4 teams. So we do see second point going through here, of course. Team that pushes it through to the second board gets another minute 30 seconds. As we move over to the second point. And ultimately going through this industrial warehouse over here for the Deadlock gang. Cutting through to the third point to complete the map, to success the map. Thank you, Jesse. You're doing great. Doing great. Heading back to the players on the defense. Sponge sticking over to the Ashe right now. Quite comfortable on her, it seems. Wanting to make sure that compositions that work around Ashe in future are going to be very strong. Shapeshifter Squishy on the Orisa Roadhog. Seem to be ready for anything. I am Condi over onto the Sombra, wanting to find the right position, give all of the information to the teammates of him as he starts looking for the right angle of who to focus down first. Rest of his team are gonna be moving around the corner soon. Drunken Smurf, oh, finds Mikelele. Luckily there is a resin Chad. He does manage to use it though. I am Condi not getting a pick in the backline there. Off the back of the res happening. Sponge and Squishy making sure that's not going to happen. Death Seed over on the Wrecking Ball. Jumps in, but the shield from Shapeshifter sadly just at the wrong angle for it to work for him as Drunken Smurf goes down. And Mikelele gets some payback, taking down a player from DDC Dominion and I am Condi. Death Seed trying to do as much work as he can on the Wrecking Ball, but he's going to have to back off as he does get discorded. Oh. Health comes out, hook from Squishy doesn't land, he does get slept though, and Defense Matrix keeps him alive from Dizzy. Such a small play, but means so much in the greater good of the game. Chad does have Resurrection though, so they do have a get out of jail free card as Sponge, managing to get quite a bit of damage there. I'm Condi, still in the backline, not quite finding the kill on Chad. He's starting to play a bit aggressively. Bob is ready to go for Sponge. Out it goes. With the coach gun, keeping Death Seed out of the point. Bob comes down and just absolutely destroys Officer Doofy almost instantaneously. And Pundu gets the sleep, but Death Seed wakes Bob up as he tries to deny the area with his minefield. Bit of a struggle as we do see Drunken Smurf at least trying to get some action out of that Dragon Strike, although not able to do too much. Death Seed keeping them off of any access of the point, but looks like the point just destroyed all his mines as it moved over at Shapeshifter very low. Does end up going down to Death Seed. The rest of DDC Dominion can start moving forward as Lade leads the charge alongside Drunken Smurf. Death Seed wants some more, and right now they're looking pretty good as Mikelele walks in to a massive fire. First point is going to be completed by DDC Dominion. I'm Condi still struggling to find the picks that he needs, but definitely causing quite a lot of issues as Sponge picks up I am Condi. Sponge once again, damage boosted, wanting to find Mpundu. Interesting that we haven't seen a swap off from Squishy yet, but we do see Shapeshifter moving onto the Reinhardt and Dizzy. Over onto the D.Va seems to be a bit of a preferred composition for these two to run, other than their Winston D.Va. Now EMP comes in, Shapeshifter can't do much with his shield. Officer Doofy comes to self-destruct, it does find Shapeshifter just in the door there. Mikelele a little bit scared in the corner. Death Seed out of position though. It looks like Unidentified could turn this around, although Dragon Strike picks up Mikelele. It is currently a 4v4 situation. DDC Dominion playing together quite nicely as Unidentified having to back off a bit. Oh, Drunken Smurf goes down. This gives Unidentified a lot of space to work with. Slade back in the fight extremely quickly. Squishy finding Slade, but Officer Doofy does not want him to last much longer as he does end up going down. Shapeshifter's back on the Reinhardt, and that big boy hammer is not going to allow any more pushing for the side of DDC Dominion. Now, what I want to see from DDC Dominion, the team composition seems quite okay. Might just want something to deal with some of these players. I'm Condi though. It's about to say he needs to start finding some kills, and finding Mikelele does delay Unidentified, but it's a lot longer for DDC Dominion's players to get back into the fight, especially whilst the choke is being watched by Unidentified. It was just a bit of a delay in the reset, actually causing DDC Dominion to lose time in the push, as we do see them waiting for 6. I am Condi, although doing that so he can switch over to the Reaper. Needs to find the right position to get the work from it. Mikelele does see him. They know this is happening. Bob waiting on the outside there as we do see I am Condi getting nano boosted. Wraith Form does go out. Amcondi just on top of Shapeshift right now, who he's going to be able to get, possibly. Yes, he does, but Michael pops Transcendent, and Squishy going in with Whole Hog, trying to make sure that it doesn't last very long. Chad, projected barrier from Dizzy, keeping him alive. Amcondi cannot shred through that on his own. And Unidentified's Valkyrie making sure that the fight is secured. 2 minutes left on the clock for DDC Dominion to continue their push. As Squishy finds a tasty hook on one of the last players, DC Dominion, as luckily regrouping very patiently, quite disciplined as a team to play like that. They need to find the right approach. Amcondi using his Wraith form extremely early, although they do have to wait for more teammates to spawn. Doesn't want to be caught out in danger without his Wraith form. Do see Anti-Nade and Dynamite being thrown over the shield, but not able to do enough. As right now, Shapeshifter, Dizzy, going to be ready on the ultimates extremely soon. Gravitron Surge and Earth Shatter. Sponge wants to make sure that he can use Bob as soon as the fight kicks off, because Death Seed and Drunken Smurf have their Earth Shatter and Dragon Strike. Sponge playing in the top line here. That's a big hook alongside the Dynamite. Drunken Smurf going down, not allowing any more DPS from DDC Dominion, or at least not enough. Shapeshifter holding up against Death Seed. Officer Doofy getting low. Michaelele starting to find some nice shots. Slade hoping to get a boop off potentially, but just needs to recess in the situation. And off. Oh, is he going to be coming back? We're going to have to